On a cold, unforgiving steppe, a boy named Temujin was born who would later be known as Chingis Khan. In the 12th century, in the harsh, windswept plains of Northeast Asia, a child of destiny was born. This young boy, named Temujin, would grow to become one of the most formidable leaders in human history, Chingis Khan. But his journey to greatness was not an easy one. Born into the Borjigin clan, Temujin was the son of a tribal chieftain. His childhood was fraught with hardships. At a tender age of 9, he was sent to live with another tribe as a guarantee of peace between the two factions. However, his father was poisoned, leaving the young Temujin fatherless and the tribe leaderless. The tribe abandoned him and his family, leaving them to fend for themselves in the harsh and unforgiving steppe. Despite these trials, Temujin persevered. He grew to be a man of remarkable resilience and strategic acumen. His leadership skills were evident even at a young age as he rallied together his family and those loyal to him, eventually forming a small but potent force. But the young Temujin had grander ambitions. He desired unity, to bring together the scattered and often warring tribes of the Northeast Asian steppe under one banner. With this goal in mind, he began forging alliances, winning over his rivals, and steadily growing his power base. In the year 1185, Temujin finally achieved his dream. He united the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia, creating a force that would soon shake the world to its core. He took the title of Chingis Khan, which means universal ruler, a fitting name for a man with such expansive ambitions. His rise to power was not without its share of trials and tribulations, but through it all, Temujin, now Chingis Khan, remained steadfast, guided by his vision of a united Mongol nation. His beginnings were humble, but his destiny was to change the world forever. The fragmented tribes of the Mongolian steppe were no match for the unity Chingis Khan brought. Picture a vast windswept landscape dotted with disparate tribes, each vying for power, resources, and survival. This was the Mongolian steppe before the arrival of Chingis Khan. Chingis, originally named Temujin, was not born into power but had to seize it, navigating the treacherous waters of tribal politics. He understood that the Mongolian tribe's strength lay not in their individual might but in their potential unity. So he set about unifying these scattered tribes under one banner, his banner. How did he achieve this feat? One word: strategy. Chingis Khan was a master of diplomacy. He formed alliances with other tribes not through force but through negotiation and mutual respect. He understood the value of a friend over an enemy, and his diplomatic efforts paid off as one by one the tribes began to rally under his leadership. But diplomacy was not his only tool. Chingis Khan also used marriages as a means to cement alliances. He married off his daughters to the leaders of other tribes, creating strong familial bonds that were hard to break. These marriages not only strengthened his alliances but also placed his loyal daughters in positions of power within these tribes. And of course, there was warfare. When diplomacy and marriages failed, Chingis Khan did not shy away from using force. He was a brilliant military strategist, employing innovative tactics that often left his enemies bewildered and defeated. His victories on the battlefield only served to bolster his reputation, drawing more tribes to his cause. Through a combination of diplomacy, marriages, and warfare, Chingis Khan managed to unite the fragmented Mongolian tribes. But this was just the beginning. With the tribes now under his rule, a formidable force was born, ready to take on the world. With the tribes united, Chingis Khan's real conquest was about to begin. Chingis Khan turned his gaze outward, and the world trembled. His eyes fell on the lands that lay beyond the vast Mongolian steppe. His thirst for conquest was insatiable, and he was ready to quench it. The first target was the Western Xia, a formidable power in the northwest of China. Under Chingis Khan's leadership, the Mongols employed a strategy that combined cunning diplomacy with brutal military pressure. In 1201, after several years of relentless warfare, the Western Xia capitulated. They became the first victims of the Mongol onslaught. This victory was not just a military triumph, but also a psychological one. It sent a clear message to the rest of the world. The Mongols were a force to be reckoned with. But Chingis Khan wasn't finished. His next target was the Jin dynasty, a powerful empire controlling northern China. The Jin were a formidable adversary, with a well-equipped army and fortified cities. However, they underestimated the Mongols' strategic genius and relentless determination. Chingis Khan's forces besieged their cities, employing innovative siege tactics that left the Jin defenseless. By 1205, the Jin dynasty had to surrender a large part of their empire to the Mongols. The once powerful dynasty was left in ruins, and the Mongolian Empire grew larger and more formidable. These victories were significant not just for the expansion of the Mongol Empire, but for the reputation of Chingis Khan. He was no longer just a tribal leader, he was a world conqueror. His name was whispered with awe and fear across Asia and Europe. Chingis Khan's conquests of the Western Xia and the Jin dynasty marked the beginning of an era of Mongol dominance. It was a time when the world trembled at the mere mention of the Mongols. But these victories were just the beginning. The world was yet to witness the full might of the Mongol horde. Chingis Khan's empire started to spread like wildfire across the continents. The Mongol Empire, once confined to the harsh steppes of Mongolia, began to unfurl its wings, reaching out to the far corners of the world. This expansion was not merely a geographical conquest, rather it was the manifestation of a vision of a world united under one banner, the banner of the Mongols. The Mongol expansion into Central Asia and Eastern Europe was marked by a series of key battles and strategies. The Mongols, with their superior horseback warfare and innovative military tactics, swept through the lands like a storm. In Central Asia, cities such as Bukhara and Samarkand, once the jewels of the Silk Road, fell to the Mongols, marking the beginning of Mongol domination in the region. From Central Asia, the Mongols turned their eyes towards Eastern Europe. The Mongol invasion of Europe was a spectacle of military strategy. The Mongols, despite being outnumbered, used their superior mobility, communication, and the element of surprise to their advantage. They quickly overran the Eurasian steppe, toppling the Kievan Rus and striking fear into the hearts of the European powers. But the Mongol Empire was not just about conquest. Chingis Khan believed in the value of trade and cultural exchange. The Silk Road under Mongol protection flourished, becoming a conduit for the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. This led to a period of incredible cultural and intellectual growth, often referred to as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace. With the expansion into Central Asia and Eastern Europe, the Mongol Empire established itself as a global power, its influence extending from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe. The Mongol Empire had become the center of the world, its tendrils reaching out, touching every corner of the known world. At its peak, the Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous empire in history. It was an empire that stretched from the blue Pacific to the bustling markets of Baghdad, from the frozen Siberian tundra to the sun-baked plains of Hungary. It was an empire that even today stands as a testament to the vision and ambition of one man, Chingis Khan. Chingis Khan's death did not mean the end of his legacy. Quite the contrary, it marked the beginning of an era where his descendants would carry the torch, continuing to shape the world in their own unique ways. Upon his death in the year 1227, Chingis Khan left behind an empire that spanned from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea, an unprecedented feat in history. But the expansive empire did not remain united for long. Instead, it was divided among his sons, in accordance with Mongol tradition. Yochi, Chagatai, Ogedei, and Tolui each inherited their portions of the empire, marking the start of the Mongol Khanates, each a kingdom in its own right. These Khanates, although separate, continued to expand and conquer under the banner of their father's legacy. The Golden Horde in the west, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Il Khanate in the Middle East, and the Yuan dynasty in China, all bore the indelible mark of Chingis Khan's influence. But it wasn't just about conquest and expansion. The Mongols under Chingis Khan's successors also brought about significant cultural and economic changes. They were instrumental in re-establishing the Silk Road, promoting trade and cultural exchange between the East and the West. They sponsored arts, literature, and even religious tolerance, marking a significant departure from the warlike image often associated with the Mongols. However, it's worth noting that the Mongol Empire's fragmentation did not diminish its impact. In fact, the division allowed for the distinct development of the regions within each Khanate, influencing the course of history in diverse ways. Today, Chingis Khan's influence can be seen in everything from the political boundaries of modern nations to the cultural practices of various societies. His descendants, such as Kublai Khan, even went on to establish dynasties of their own, further extending the reach of his legacy. Chingis Khan's empire might have fragmented, but his impact on the world is still felt today. From the steppes of Mongolia to the heart of Europe, the ripple effects of his reign continue to shape our world centuries after his death. The Mongol Empire left an indelible mark on the world. The Mongols, under the leadership of Chingis Khan, created a colossal empire that spanned continents, and in doing so, they triggered a ripple of changes that would shape the course of history. Their influence was far-reaching, touching various aspects of life, from culture and politics to economics. Culturally, the Mongols were instrumental in the spread of ideas and knowledge. They valued wisdom and were open to learning from the diverse cultures under their rule. This exchange of ideas led to a cultural melting pot, fostering advancements in science, philosophy, and the arts. Politically, the Mongol Empire introduced a level of organization and governance that was unprecedented for its time. They established a merit-based system where positions were earned through skill and loyalty, not birthright. This system promoted efficiency and loyalty within the empire, setting a precedent for future political structures. In terms of economics, the Mongols played a crucial role in revitalizing trade routes, most notably the Silk Road. This ancient network of trade routes connected the east to the west, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. Under Mongol rule, the Silk Road thrived, bringing prosperity and encouraging economic interdependence among regions. Moreover, the Mongols were catalysts in the spread of technologies. They adopted and disseminated innovations from different cultures within their empire. From the Chinese invention of gunpowder to Persian astronomical tools, these technologies spread across the empire, igniting a period of technological advancement that resonates to this day. The Mongol Empire, despite its brutal reputation, was a force of globalization. They connected vast regions, breaking down barriers and fostering a sense of global community. This interconnectedness laid the groundwork for the world as we know it today. Chingis Khan's empire, for all its brutality, was a catalyst for global change. All empires must end, and the Mongol Empire was no exception. As we've journeyed through the rise and expansion of the Mongol Empire, we now arrive at its inevitable decline. The Mongol Empire, once a symbol of unyielding power and unity, began to crumble under the weight of its own success. The empire had grown so vast that it became increasingly challenging to manage. The vast distances and diverse cultures within the empire created communication difficulties and strained the central authority. The seeds of internal conflict were sown with the death of Chingis Khan. His sons and grandsons, each desiring to inherit the throne, fought amongst themselves, fracturing the unity that had once been the empire's greatest strength. This infighting led to a loss of central authority as regional leaders began to assert their own power, further destabilizing the empire. Economic difficulties also played a significant role in the empire's downfall. The Mongols, originally a nomadic people, had built their empire on conquest and plunder, but as their expansion slowed, so too did the influx of wealth. The empire's economy, which had been buoyed by the spoils of war, began to falter. The decline of the Mongol Empire wasn't an overnight event. It was a slow, gradual process that took place over several decades. But by the late 14th century, what was once the largest contiguous land empire in history had fragmented into a collection of smaller khanates, each vying for power and control. Yet even in its decline, the Mongol Empire left a lasting legacy. Its influence can be seen in the political, cultural, and economic landscapes of numerous modern countries. And the legend of Chingis Khan, the man who began as a tribal leader and ended up ruling an empire that spanned across continents, continues to inspire and captivate people around the world. The Mongol Empire faded, but the legend of Chingis Khan lives on. Chingis Khan was a figure of both fear and awe. As we wrap up this historical journey, we reflect on the profound impact of this powerful leader. Born into a world of tribal conflict, Chingis Khan unified the Mongol tribes, showcasing his strategic brilliance and tenacity. From there, his conquests began, leading to the expansion of an empire that stretched across continents. leaving an indelible mark on the map of the world. His legacy is a tapestry woven with threads of both destruction and cultural exchange. The Mongol Empire, under his leadership, became a conduit for widespread knowledge, ideas, and innovation. Its impact reverberates through the annals of history to this day. The end of Chingis Khan's era signaled the close of a significant chapter in world history, but the echoes of his influence continue to resonate. Through his life and his legacy, Chingis Khan shaped the course of history,